Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
What we're talking about this evening is how to make sure, right, you're just cooking around, you're just hanging out. All of a sudden, everything's like, oh, wow, great. I'm living my life. I'm working towards the future. I'm doing everything that I can. And then, bam, all of a sudden something happens. And now it's not your life. It's been hijacked by somebody else. It's been set up by somebody else, right? It's been taken over because you've been browbeaten. Let me ask you a question. I was talking to a good friend of mine today on the phone. Do you ever get tired of being pigeonholed? Do you ever get tired of everyone saying, oh, well, you're this or you're that or you're racist or you're not doing it right? Let me check here. We got a quick text coming in. You're not doing anything right. Well, then you think to yourself, well, I thought my life was going pretty good. I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong. But then you stumble around and you go, hey, wait a minute. Let me see. What do we have here? Hey, it's Virtual B. While on the call, you're welcome to text me. Yes, please do. You can give me a text if that's something you would like to do. We'd love to hear from you. So Brian McKay says no audio coming through, Wayne, just so you know, as does Candace. No audio, BB. So, Wayne, if you're nearby, can't hear you. Wayne, help. Candace, you're absolutely right, and I hope Wayne's listening. There is no audio coming through. So, you know what, Candace?
There is now.
All right, is there audio now?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. All right, so if someone... Brian, thank you so very much for letting us know. Thank you for letting us know. Candace, thank you for letting us know. Ms. Putnam, thank you for letting us know. As you say, can't hear. And Candace says, Wayne, help. Candace says hello to Brian and Brian. So if someone can give me a thumbs up, let me know that the audio is now coming through and we're all good. That would be great. It's not, I don't have a lot of it coming up here, but there we go. So we'll go ahead on the audio side, make sure that we're all set. Once again, and so I don't know when we lost the audio, but let me see if we can just go back quickly and talk about what happens, the difference between being accosted by a grizzly bear and being accosted by a mountain lion. And why I think in this day and age, and in our conversations we had today, why a lot of people think, look, you'll be in trouble if you let these types that are ready and willing to hijack your life, you're going to be in a bad way. And that's why I think we can't get to the point where we say, okay, we don't want to let these people take advantage of our future, don't want to let these people take advantage of what it is we have going on in life. So that's why we say all the time, don't fall victim to the grizzly bear mentality, because it's just not going to serve us well in the long run. So sorry, I apologize. Your chin is cut off too. Never had audio till now. Okay, well, thank you, Brian, very much. All right, so, Wayne, that's what we got going on. We finally got some audio in. We were talking earlier about the difference between grizzly bear, sorry for the people that have stuck it out, the grizzly bear and the mountain lion. And it very simply is a mountain lion, it will absolutely eat you alive. So you don't want to be in a position to be pushed around by a mountain lion. So what do? We talk about standing up. We talk about drawing our line in the sand because, as you know, if you're confronted by a mountain lion, what do? You put your backpack up in the air. You put your mountain bike up in the air. Whatever you can get, you put up in the air. You never turn your back and run. You never give in to a mountain lion because then a mountain lion's going, oh, this is easier than going to a Taco Bell drive-up window. This is easier than getting sliders late night. I'll just pull over here and chew on this guy. I don't want to be sexist. I'll just pull over here and chew on this girl, right? So then that's what we have to know, is that when it comes with dealing with some of these folks, the last thing we want to do is fall victim to them. So when it comes to dealing with those forces, and whether, people say, oh, it's Antifa, oh, it's Marxism, oh, it's socialism, oh, it's communism, wrap them all into one big bag and just say, look, as a human being, you have a right, you have a certain wherewithal, and no one gets to water you down. Let me say hello quickly to Brian. Brian, thank you again for all the critique. Candace, hello. Dale, hello. Thank you very much. Ms. Putnam, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us here on the Brian Brawdy Show. Sorry about the audio things. We're still getting some of this worked out, but we're very excited to have you here with us. And we're talking about how the forces that be are absolutely confident in their ability to water down your wherewithal. And I'm here to say that that shouldn't be the case. That when we get, well, you know, in the conversation that I had today, a friend of mine was saying, you know, we just want to go on with our life. We don't want to be guilted into this or guilted into that. We don't want to be spoon-fed. We don't want to be told what to believe. We just want to enjoy life. Now, all of a sudden, here comes somebody protesting something. We talked again, or last night, we talked about toxic sensitivity. Here comes somebody with a bullhorn telling you how lousy you are, telling you how rotten you are, telling you how misguided you are, how racist you are, how, with just a whole laundry list of things. And you get these brittle brains atop balsa wood spines. As you know, I refer to them as hot heads wrapped in thin skin. You get these people that come along, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're screaming and hollering, I'm offended, I'm triggered, I'm outraged, I'm mortified, I'm looking for a safe space. Hey, can you help a brother out? So all I'm simply suggesting is if we give in to the mob, if we give in to the crowd, if we give in to those people trying to rob us, trying to loot our future, it's never going to work out well. It's going to work out like it does if you give in to a mountain lion. Let me say hello to Kenneth. Kenneth, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Also, Karen. Karen, thank you for watching, hanging out here with us at Mortal Up and the Brian Brawdy Show. So that's the gist of this evening. I know here in just a little bit, Wayne wants to jump to the lowlifes making headlines, which is going to be a great one this evening. So, Wayne, why don't we go ahead, pull that one up now. We'll do lowlifes making headlines, and then we'll jump right back in. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. All right, so here we go. We're talking about a lowlife making headlines for today. Let's go ahead and pick the person that thinks they can bully you into submission, that thinks their opinion is the only way to go. Let's go ahead and talk about the lowlifes making headlines. You can go to anywhere in social media. You can go to anywhere, and we'll be taking your calls at the bottom of the hour. You can go ahead and give us your idea of the lowlife making headlines, but I'll go ahead and spring this one on you this evening. Lowlife making headlines is anyone out there with a platform that wants to tell you how bad you are, how rotten you are, how racist you are, how there's a whole laundry list of things. I call them the list of ists. Misogynist, but just all of it, right? They want to tell you how bad you are. But when you know in your own heart, when you know in your own skin, when you know in your own gut that you're none of those things, these people will keep coming. I call them walking, talking Venus flytraps, right? Like whatever you want to grab, you land and then they gobble you right up. These pits of quicksand with legs that will do anything they can to submarine your vision of what your future should be like. So tonight's lowlifes making headlines are going to be those people that they don't want you to be happy. They want you to be miserable. They want you to protest along with them. They want you to go, oh, America's lousy. Oh, you're lousy. Everybody's lousy. Every situation we're in is lousy. But you have the right to not listen to them. You have the right to remember how life was empowering for you in your vision, in your dreams, and your goals. Let me say hello quickly to Ronald. Ronald, thank you so very much, Mr. Bell, for joining us here this evening on the Brian Brawdy Show. So before we get to last night's poll results, let's just wrap this up with the lowlifes making headlines. You know who they are. Good evening, Sharon. Thank you for joining us. You know who they are, Sharon. We're talking about people that never seem happy, and they want to drag you down. They're the epitome of misery loves company, let's just say, right? So no matter what's going on, they're going to tell you, oh, this is horrible. Oh, we should burn this. Oh, we should protest that. Oh, we should rape and pillage. Oh, we should destroy property. We should do all those other things. And then they go, oh, and if you question them, they go, what, you're against protesting? No, we're not talking about protesting. We're not talking about peaceful protesting at all. We're talking about rioting. I mean, how peaceful is a protest if you have to grab a park bench and throw it through somebody's window? How peaceful is that? That's not what we're talking about. But when we give in to these folks, when we give in to the lowlifes making headlines, then we know we're going to suffer the same fate that we do when we give in to being confronted. We give in to a mountain lion out in the middle of nowhere. All right, it's quarter past the hour. We're going to take calls starting at the bottom of the hour. But for right now, Wayne, let's go ahead. How did we do last night? Our poll last night, and we left it up all day long on mortalup.com. Our poll was, hey, what does it take? What will it take? Do you believe that toxic sensitivity is dangerous? Do you believe that toxic sensitivity is killing us? Wayne, how did everything work out last night when it came to the vote? Or I guess last night into today, how did everything work out?
The question was, do you think safe spaces are killing us?
Right.
And the poll results came in 67% said yes.
Ooh.
33 said no.
So just a little bit over half and half in that. So apparently there were some people that disagreed with me, that I was one of the ones that would have voted yes, saying toxic sensitivity is absolutely dangerous. It's robbing us of our future because you got to walk on eggshells constantly. And I guess the theme dovetailing into tonight, Wayne, is that if you walk on eggshells, those eggshells are going to rise up and find some way of taking advantage of you. All right, so if you go to mortalup.com, Wayne, what is tonight's post? What have we got working out for tonight into tomorrow's show?
Well, let me bring up the... Give me a second.
That's okay. I'll say hello again quickly to Sharon and Ronald and Karen and Kenneth. Dale, thank you so very much. Brian, Candace, thank you so very much for joining us. If you're still there, thank you for being a part of the Brian Brawdy Show. And again, our apologies for the audio in the beginning, but we'll make it work.
Okay.
Wayne, what do we got for tomorrow's poll?
Okay, well, today's poll is America's future on the ropes?
Oh, today's poll, which we will announce tomorrow night, is America's Futures on the Ropes. So don't forget, you can head on over. Wayne, if you would, throw up the address. You can register your vote at mortalup.com. Do you believe that America's future is on the ropes? Because we're busy drinking the Kool-Aid. We're busy buying into the loudest voices in the crowd telling us how bad we are, how horrible it is. How this whole list of things that are wrong with you and me, are we collectively, as a group, are we buying into this? And therefore, do we believe, if we listen to these lowlifes making headlines, if we listen to these brittle brains atop balsa wood spines, if we listen to all these folks, then we're going to be in trouble. So the poll question at mortalup.com, are we in trouble? Is America's future in trouble? Because we're busy letting the inmates run the asylum. Candace says governors should be ashamed that the ones that are allowing the death and destruction. Thank you, Candace, very much. I would think that if you're a governor, if you're a mayor, you want to be the governor or the mayor for all the people. So you wouldn't want any rioting. You wouldn't want that kind of rape and pillage in your city, regardless of your political affiliation. Right? I don't know. I don't know this for sure. I've never been a governor and I've never been a mayor. But if you take an oath and you say, yes, I'm going to serve and protect the Constitution of my state or the Constitution of my city, and I'm going to do so to further the best life possible for all my constituents, those that voted for me and those that didn't. I'm going to do the best job I can to make sure that they have a great life. Because here's the scoop, and this is what I go back to quite a bit. The chances of you and I being here are trillions to one, right? So that we were given this life, big bang, big breath, we talk about it all the time, that if we were given this life and it got to the point where we say, okay, great, we're here. Now we're going to make our best run in it. Why would we let anyone stand in the way of us mortaling up? Just doesn't make sense. Why would we let a governor, as Candace said, they should be ashamed? Why would we want a governor or a mayor that allows our city to be burned, that allows all this violent protesting, that allows the calls for defunding the police, that allows the calls for almost anarchy when you think about it? How is that serving and protecting the people of your town, your city, your county, your state? How does that work? Just, it's surprising to me that we'll sit back. So that's what we're talking about this evening is, Are we to a point, do you think, where we can still pull it from the fire? Are we to the point where you think where we can still save it, right? So that we can go, yeah, I know I was busy loving life. I was busy doing my thing. But now they keep trying to drag me back in. They keep yelling at me with bullhorns. They keep yelling at me on social media. Friend of mine and I were in a discussion earlier where he says, well, the media is absolutely responsible for all the division. And I would say to you that if you look at social media and you look at some of the excommunicated engineers from social media, the people that have either quit or have been bounced out from some of the largest social media platforms, and they'll tell you that artificial intelligence has been crafted to do nothing else but sow division. And you'd go, well, Brian, why is that the case? Why are they suggesting that? It's supposed to be social media. It's supposed to help us all get along. It's supposed to be in that situation where we can all come together and share our stories and pictures of the kids and everything's going to be great. Well, but you listen to these engineers and these engineers are like, well, that's not what we did. The AI is designed so that we get people in. Let me say a quick hello to Taylor. Taylor, thank you so very much for joining us on the Brian Brawdy Show. Mr. Hampton, I appreciate you stopping by. So what we're talking about is that some of these excommunicated engineers from Facebook, Twitter, all the Google platforms and the like are saying, no. The artificial intelligence that we wrote into this platform it has two functions. One, to tell you what you want to hear. So if you're a Republican, it makes sure in your feed you hear what you want to hear because it keeps you glued. It keeps you drawn in. If you're a Democrat, same thing. If you're an atheist, if you're whatever it is, whatever your main focus in life is, the AI written into this is designed to draw you in. And in order to keep you drawn in, they tell you exactly what you want to hear, right? Misery loves company. Philosophy loves company. So whatever philosophy you have, it draws you in to that very philosophy. So what do? You stay there longer. Why could they care if you go with the kids for a walk around the block, or you go fishing, or you go race motorcycles, or you go to the gym, or you go to your favorite restaurant and have some strawberry cheesecake? Why do they care if you stay on the platform for as long as you possibly can? Well, that's how they get advertisers to hook you. The longer they can keep you on the platform, as Candace says, yes, we will pull through all of this. This is not our first rodeo. I like that, Candace. That's a great attitude. Thank you very much. As far as the AI goes, they want you drawn in. They want you fighting. They want the debate. They want all these other things going on, because if they get you to do that, you're staying around longer for whatever ad might pop up. So it all comes down to the fact that the social media platforms, these social media services, are serving no one but themselves. And it's designed to keep you in the fold, if you will. So then, you're going, oh, man, this is just infuriating. I can't believe this. Hello, Gene. Let me say hello to Gene. Thank you so very much for joining us. And as Candace says, people are tired of it all. I would agree with you, Candace. They're tired of being drawn in, even if they don't know what's happening to them. They're tired of being drawn in and being a pawn or a shill just to sell something to. So they want the division. They want, right? They don't want there to be a commonality of minds, because then you're like, oh, wasn't that great? We had a good debate. Everyone walks away. Everyone thinks all good about each other. That doesn't sell product, apparently. So what they do, what happens, is that you get to the point where the more they can keep us at each other's throats, the more that they can keep us fighting, the more that they can keep us going, chances are pretty good we'll be along and stick around so that the advertisers can sell us something. Let me say hello to James. James, thank you so very much for joining us this evening on the Brian Brawdy Show. Oh, and I should say also hello to the people on YouTube. If you're over on Twitter, a.k.a. Spitter, as you know that I call it now, if you're over there, thank you so very much. And if you're listening to the audio, I get some texts from time to time, people listening to the audio at mortalup.com. Don't forget, you can listen to it live there as well. So thank you so very much for that. I super appreciate it. Oh, and I will talk about that. I'm just getting a text. If you're here on Facebook, and probably over, I would say, Wayne, we probably also have the image over on Twitter as well. I'm sure it's over on LinkedIn. You got to see the second stage of our mobile marketing for today. It's me running around, which I have to tell you, as far as mobile marketing goes, it's really great because I get some exercise and I get to advertise the show as well. So we have mortalup.com, a couple of different posters, and a couple different picket signs. And my theory is, between you and I, if I get stopped anytime and people say, well, you know, you're not allowed to walk around with signs, you're not allowed to do this or that, well, I'm calling it a protest, right? So then how can they derail me? It's a protest. So I walk around with my Mortal Up signs. So yes, thank you very much. I was pretty pleased with it. You should also know that when it comes to our international marketing or our global marketing, I have the sign. Maybe you've seen the pictures out and about, but we'll put them all up on the show for tomorrow night. We'll put all the different attempts at mobile marketing. And when I talk about the global marketing program, I do the international advertising by putting the huge sign up and all the decals and everything else in the car. And I go over and drive around the international terminal at Columbus Airport. So that way I'm making sure people from all over the world get to see the Mortal Up logo. And again, thank you very much. Yes, it's fun doing it. And I have to tell you, not only do I think it's great marketing, the truth be told is probably more people see the things we do here, right? More people see the things we do on social and when we do the ads and everything else here. But I love the workout. There's something, and tomorrow I think maybe we'll announce this after we start taking calls here. But Wayne, maybe we can talk a little bit about it after the bottom of the hour. We'll be on Alexa, we'll be on Siri, and I don't know much more about the platforms, but the top 5 platforms, Mortal Up will be worked into those platforms. So if you're at home and you use Siri or you use Alexa, or is there Dot, I think, Blue Dot, if there are any of those different services where you're able to speak to the service and it does what you say, by this time tomorrow, Mortal Up will also be on those services. So if you listen to Siri and you go Mortal Up, it'll draw you directly to the mortalup.com so you can listen to the show. As Candace says, I saw you playing in the street. Candace, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, I've said quite a bit you can take. Growing up in New York, we always played stickball. We always played kickball. We always played in the streets out on Long Island. So for me, I made the joke that you can take the boy out of New York, but you can't take New York out of the boy. So, and what was really wild, Candace, is while I was doing that, just before the picture was taken, if you look really closely to off my right, it'd be picture left. You see the front bumper of a car. It's 2 sheriff's departments cars. Pull it up. So for everyone was like, what are you doing blocking traffic in the middle of the street? I just happened to be crossing the street and I said, oh, I'll stop and I'll have the picture taken. But that, again, is a great part of the marketing. And the reason that I think it's so great is I get a fantastic workout in. So in addition to be able to advertise in Siri and to be able to advertise in a lot of these other places and doing all of my marketing, I'm able to get a good workout in. And to that end, tomorrow, I believe maybe on tomorrow night's show or maybe even Thursday night show, we'll be introducing round 3 of the mobile marketing, which means when I'm on my bicycle for the 20 miles a day that I get in an attempt to work out, we're pulling a huge Mortal Up sign behind us on like a bicycle trailer. So you'll get to see pictures of that as well tomorrow night, I believe. If not tomorrow night, then Thursday night. And that will round out what we do for commando marketing, for mobile marketing on the street. The vehicle, the bicycle, my picket signs. I don't know. I think we get about 25, maybe 30 miles in a day of aerobic work. And I do it maybe every other day, right? We usually get about 20 miles on the bike. We usually get about 10 miles walking. But I get all this aerobic work in doing actual marketing, and I'm thrilled by it. All right, so we went ahead, and I want to mention again, don't forget, head over to mortalup.com. You can vote in tomorrow's poll, and it's very simply, it's a yes or no kind of poll. So you can go over there, you'll look for the poll section, and be able to vote, and we'll have Wayne announce on tomorrow night's show exactly the results of that particular poll. And then what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and run to the bottom of the hour here. So, Wayne, why don't we go ahead and cue that up? We'll be back in just a minute, and then we'll be taking your calls live. are back, bottom of the hour, which I always enjoy because it allows us to get ready here momentarily to open the phone lines. Wayne will put the graphic up here just to remind you of the number and everything else. And we'd like to know what you think, whether it's last night's poll, this night's poll. We can talk about whatever you like. The main theme for tonight is, look, why would you let people treat you like prey? Why would you let the predators have their way? So if you have another example, I've used the grizzly bear and the mountain lion, but if you have another example, we'll open the lines up here and you can give us a holler and let us know what you think. But the bottom line is, you and I have every right not to be browbeaten. We have every right not to be belittled. We have every right to enjoy our life and not be subject to the whims of the hotheads wrapped in thin skin, the whims of the brittle brains atop balsa wood spines that will tell you how triggered and offended and miserable and maligned and all these other things. So we have the right to live the future as we see it outside of all the mashugana. So Wayne, why don't we do that? We'll go ahead now and we'll open the phone lines. If you'll go ahead and throw up the number.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout, because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
Mortal One. Also, don't forget, for the rest of us, that's 833-667-8251. 833-667-8251. Give us a holler. Let us know you're thinking. You're also welcome to text us at that number. You can also respond in the feed here at Facebook. That's another way that you can get a hold of us and let us know what you're thinking, because ultimately what we hope to build here in the Brian Brawdy Show is a place where we can come together, kind of let off a little bit of steam, and then prepare for the Mortal Up segment a little later in the hour. So Counterpunch Media says, don't forget, the number is 833-667-8251. You can respond here in the feed. You can give us a text if you're watching somewhere else. If you're listening online, you're welcome to do that as well. Give us a holler and let us know what you're thinking. All right, so this evening, as we talked a little bit about last evening and then again today, all you have to do in terms of writing the show is turn on social media, turn on the real media, turn on any of the platforms that just seem hell-bent on keeping us at each other's throats. Now, there used to be where we could let the fringe, we joke here at the Brian Brawdy Show and we call it wing sauce, whether it's the left wing or the right wing, underneath it's still chicken, right? Used to be where you and I could sit on the sidelines and we could let everybody in the periphery, everyone on the edge of reason, everyone could do their battles. But now you and I can't go out and have dinner. I posted earlier on Facebook, they arrested those 3 folks in Pittsburgh that accosted the elderly couple eating dinner, walked up, turned over their food, drank their beer, did everything. Well, apparently the local authorities have caught all 3 of them, but it speaks to a bigger issue. It speaks to not being able to live, not being able to enjoy our life without the fear of being browbeaten, without the fear of having someone scream at us with a bullhorn, without the fear of someone going, yeah, let me flip over your dinner. Like, you didn't earn that. That you got that from white privilege. So therefore, that dinner's mine. Doesn't belong to you. You got it off of the sweat equity of everybody else around you. Just craziness in some regard. Let me say good evening to Brian Bouchard. Brian, thank you for the reminder earlier that I can't afford to take another hit. As Brian said, will you get out of traffic? And I can't, right? I was born in the street. So I've never learned not to blame cars. At least now, Brian, I can tell you I'm not running with scissors in my hands. Just protest signs, right? I wanted to get to the point where if anyone said to me, well, you can't walk around here with a sign. It's a protest. Well, what are you protesting? I'm protesting the fact that there's toxic sensitivity. I'm protesting the fact that humans are a hell of a lot stronger, a lot more capable, riddled, if you will, with natural resources, and no one gets to water those down. No one gets to malign the forces that you were born with. And the odds are trillions and trillions to 1 that you're here. So why not give this run your best bet? And why tolerate anyone that's going to stand in your way? Why tolerate anyone that acts as a speed bump? Why tolerate anyone that causes you, that wants you to second guess yourselves? Good evening to Donald. Donald, thank you so very much for joining us here on the Brian Brawdy Show. And we're asking the question, why tolerate anyone making your life more of a challenge than it already is? Why? Because they have a First Amendment right? Groovy. You and I have a First Amendment right not to hear. That's a part of also free speech. I've said before, I don't think it's toxic masculinity. It's toxic sensitivity for the most part, and it's overactive hearing. You wouldn't let someone into your house, knock on the front door, you answer the door, you let them come in and spray paint graffiti all over the inside of your house. Yet we've been taught, we've grown accustomed. We're always looking for outside influence. We're always looking for outside opinion. So why would we let these people come in and spray paint graffiti all over the insides of our minds? And I think what makes it more important now than ever, and I believe it was Eisenhower, back after he was a general, he was made president, and he said, the only people that can destroy America are Americans. Well, look around at the riots. Look at all the craziness going on in the world. Sheila, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the Brian Brawdy Show. We're talking about all the craziness going on in the world and how we have every right to go and to say and to believe. We don't want you in our bubble. Greatest thing to ever happen with this 6 foot. I love this 6 foot social distancing thing. Just don't walk up to my table, tip over my food, and drink my beer, right? You and I are going to get along great if you just don't do that to me and my family while we're out having dinner. But the craziness has come because there's toxic sensitivity where everyone and their brother and their sister, don't want to mansplain, everyone and their brother and sister are running around and they're offended and triggered by everything. So what happens in that regard is that they're literally, they go to guns over anything, right? So, but that doesn't mean that you and I have to stand for that. That doesn't mean that you and I have to accept that. That doesn't mean, as I believe it was Candace said earlier here in the feed, people are just getting tired of it. My friend said today, people are getting tired of it. We come to social media, and God love the people, not just here in the feed, but you see them on social media, just trying to find some common ground, trying to find a way for us all be able to get along. Einstein quote. I like it. Oh, is it Einstein's quote? Very good. I'm sorry about that. I thought it was Eisenhower. Thank you, Candace, very much for the correction. Right? There are people in social media trying to just get along with everyone, trying to find nice things to say, trying to find ways of coming to common ground. But you talk to these engineers or you listen to these engineers. My good friend Dennis said today that there's, I believe on Netflix, and I know Netflix I even made fun of them today, but on Netflix there is is it Social Engineering, Social something, name of a television show. And all they do, a little television segment that they do on Netflix, and they interviewed all these engineers that go, well, we left Google or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or all these other places. We left them because it's become like Frankenstein's monster, right? The doctor can't control what he or she created. And to a person, they're all like, yeah, we didn't get into it for this. We thought social media was going to be just that, social. We didn't realize it was going to be anti-social media, right? We didn't realize that was going to be the case, that it was going to spark all the craziness we see in the world today. All right, you're welcome to give us a call, 667-8251, 833-667-8251. We're talking about, is America on the ropes? Or, if you're a fan of Muhammad Ali, are we pulling a giant rope-a-dope? Are we letting the extreme forces, are we letting the Marxists and the Antifas and all the mob, are we letting them continue to punch? And then you and I are just kind of hanging back, thinking about the rope-a-dope, waiting for them to punch themselves out, and then we come back in full force. Is that what we're up to? That's our question for this evening. Is America on the ropes, right? Is their future in question, or are we going, no, let the juveniles have their moments, let them throw their Molotov cocktails, let them tip over cars, let them do this and do that. We will be back, and we'll come back with a vengeance. Let me say, no, you're right. Einstein had a similar quote, Candace says, something like it's the ones that sit back and do nothing about it. So thank you very much for that, Candace. All I'm simply saying is there isn't a power on earth that can tackle us. There isn't a power on earth that can hamstring us. And I happen to agree with Eisenhower. The only power that exists to ground and pound America is Americans themselves. When we buy into the fringe, when we listen to all the craziness going on, and we go, we start drinking the Kool-Aid, to be honest. We let these people browbeat us into thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be, that we're just absolutely horrid people. Well, I'm here to tell you, my friends, that's not the case at all. Not only is that not the case, you have every right not to feel bad about yourself, not to feel down about yourself. Oh, there's people accusing you of this and people accusing you of that. I don't know, maybe there's a random listener that's guilty of some of these accusations, but 95% of us aren't guilty of the things that we're being labeled with. But we don't want to rock the boat, so we just roll over and play dead, which is great if it's a grizzly bear, as I've said before, a grizzly bear with cubs. Knock you around, you'll be okay. Not if it's a mountain lion. Well, we live in the age of the mountain lion, where if you just roll over and play dead, if you roll over and let it happen, the mountain lion will eat you for lunch. And that's what we're up against with Antifa. That's what we're up against with all the people that want socialism. That's what we're up against with all the people that want Marxism. That's what we're up against with all the people who want communism. Just name me a situation where socialism or Marxism or anything like that ever worked. No, it cost millions and millions of people their lives. But look at the switch just in the last couple of decades of what's happened. And at my age, I'll be here, heaven willing, I'll be here in a couple decades. What are we going to be turning over to our future, to our retirement? What are we going to be turning over to our children and our grandchildren if we let the Meshuggah on the fringe run the show? I had to chuckle today. I made the comment to a friend of mine. First honest words I've heard come out of the campaign in a while, where the candidate for president, Joe Biden, called it a Harris-Biden administration, which followed up yesterday with her saying it's a Harris-Biden administration. So I must have slept, must have had amnesia. You know, I'm prone to that. Must have had amnesia, but now she's the one running for president and Joe's the vice president. It's got to be something to that. But when we let the crazy, good evening, Henry, America is on the ropes. It is time the silent majority needs to start voicing their dismay. Henry, I bet you Candace agrees with you. I know I most certainly do. And that's the function of this show, is to voice our dismay before it's too late, to voice our dismay before the mountain lion goes ahead and eats us alive. And I think for you and me, we go, no one would be so disrespectful to walk up to a police car, unload a revolver or unload a clip of an automatic weapon and shoot two sheriff's deputies in the face. No one would kick another human being while they're on the ground. No one would hit them from behind with a baseball bat or a skateboard. No one would treat another human being this way. But I'm here to tell you, we've raised a lot in the last couple of generations. Apparently, not that I had any say in it, except for the ones that I'm responsible for. We've raised a lot of mountain lions that are absolutely narcissistic, willing to totally disregard not just your opinion, but to absolutely disregard your right to life, your right to happiness, your pursuit of happiness. They absolutely disregard it. How narcissistic is that? Well, they don't care what your opinion is. It's their way or the highway. And they're willing to steal your food, burn your car, raid your house, do whatever they have to make sure that their opinion is the only one that counts. So then it's up to you and me to decide, wait a minute, are we going to get up, as Henry says, the silent majority? Brian says, yes, true. Votes for Biden are votes for Kamala in 2022. Brian, that's a great point. I just wonder, are votes for Biden votes for Kamala coming up a lot closer than 22, right? I mean, I get it, Freudian slips. This is not, although everyone that's listened to the show knows my opinion about the mental health of some of the people running, but to slip up 2 days, the two major people on your ticket. Good evening, Lori. Thank you so very much for joining us. Nice to have you here. Thank you again. And 2 days for two candidates to call it the Harris-Biden ticket. Wait a minute, what the hell happened? Where was I? I wasn't out that long. I only slept for 9 hours. How could that have been? When did the Democratic Party nominate the Harris? If last I remember, She didn't even make it through the opening couple of weeks of the presidential campaign. Now she's saying it's my administration along with Vice President Biden. How crazy is that? So before we get to Mortal Up this evening, before we get ready to run at the top of the hour, don't forget you can head on over to mortalup.com and vote in tonight's poll. We'll announce the winner tomorrow. And the question is, thank you, Wayne, mortalup.com. Is America's future, is our country on the ropes? Or, and some people think this, could it be that this is one giant rope-a-dope, that we're letting everyone punch themselves out, that we're letting all the Marxists, all the communists, all the socialists, everyone that isn't happy. Number of pictures I got today of people burning the American flag. The number of pictures are quotes of people saying, well, if this one wins or that one wins, I'm going to move out of the country. Let me ask you, the guy from Saturday Night Live, somebody help me with his name. Someone here in the feed, tell me, what's the guy that got in trouble for punching someone over a parking lot space? Alec Baldwin. Does he still live here? I know Cher was taken off, wasn't she? Rosie was taken off. Weren't some of the people from The View taken off? Oh, speaking of The View, I just saw this quickly, and I don't know enough about it to really say, but I'd love it if anyone else has an opinion. Don't forget, you can also text us, 833-667-8251. That's 833-MORTAL1. Kind of like after the number one mortal. You know, that's what I think about the human mind. Mortal one, give us a holler, let us know. Either give us a call or give us a text. But did you see this thing? Joe Rogan. Now, look, tell me how I'm wrong with this. Tell me why this is a bad idea. Joe Rogan says, hey, I think it'd be a great idea. I'll have a debate. No handlers, no other cameras. President Trump, former Vice President Biden, nobody else. The two of you come in, we sit across the table, and we let it roll. Brian says, no, they have all threatened to leave, but unfortunately, they still live in our space. I know, Brian, I made a joke not too long ago that's the key. The Statue of Liberty is like a giant maitre d' waiting to fill tables. If you're not happy here, and she just shows you with the little torch, you, if you're not happy, out. I got to turn these tables. Let's go. I got to go. Go. Let's go. Give me another table. If you're not thrilled with this place, then that's what you can do. But in any event, getting back to this that I wanted to throw out, see what everyone here thought. Joe Rogan says, no, let them come here and arm wrestle. Let them come here and bring their opinions. No handlers, no audience, no laugh track, no applause track, no this one's taller than that one. My God, how many peach crates can politicians get? Let me just say this. This has bugged me since my days in TV, especially when I traveled around the country doing TV. I have thousands of live television appearances. Yeah, Candace, you're right. Would you and Rita adopt me? I put in for that a while ago. They technically kind of have, really, right? Just for whatever that's worth. But I'd be all over it if I could get adopted by Henry and Rita. That'd be a great gig. But in any event, so Joe Rogan, right, wants to hold this debate. No handlers, no peach crates, which just used to just infuriate me like you wouldn't believe. These peach crates, you get these reporters, you go in to do an interview, and you're your height, whatever that height is, and there they've got like a peach crate or two stacked on top of each other. Why would we vote for a politician that needs a peach crate? I don't care what party you are. Talk about wing sauce. Wayne, that's the graphic we should have loaded. If you have to lie about your height, I say you're already disqualified to be a leader of the people. Oh, I know it's a public servant. Oh, God love him. Ooh, I can hear the angels, the harps, everything, the gold pass. Unbelievable, right? Oh, Henry says, anytime, Candace Johnson. Notice he didn't take me up. No, he didn't say, anytime, Brian. Good on you, Henry. Good on you. So in any event, here's my little pet peeve from traveling all over the country doing television for as long as I did. Get off the damn peach carts. How about you want truth in advertising? Everyone says, oh, I'm a fan of science. Oh, I'm the fan of the truth. The truth wins. Then get a podium that's cut in half and stop standing on the peach carts all the time. Right? Drives me crazy. So Joe Rogan says, no handlers, no peach crates, no apple cartons, no little ramps for you to run up. You two sit. We'll take the questions. We'll throw them out. You each get a couple minutes, and we'll just have a rock and roll show. Come, we'll hang out for 3 hours. We'll beat the crap out of each other. But when it's over, we'll clearly know where each other stands, and then let the people decide. Well, the women from I think it's the spew. I say spew all the time. That I just get yelled at for that. So I didn't mean spew. No matter what you heard, it wasn't spew. View. The name of the show is The View. So one of the people on The View, I don't even remember her name, but he goes, oh, well, he's a sexist. He's a misogynist. He's this, he's that. And I thought to myself, wow, you look at some of the moderators of these different things over the years. Are any of them still left? That's pretty bold to be calling another journalist, oh, he's no good. He's not even qualified for a debate. Qualified for a debate, you're asking a question without bias. How do you have to be qualified to moderate a debate? What has happened to us? Which makes me think, I also, just since we're on the topic, it also, when people say, oh, well, he or she isn't qualified to be president, and I've said for the longest time that I can remember, if you're qualified for president, you should be disqualified from the job. Here's my idea of how this country should go. And I know you're thinking, oh, Brian, you're going to give us your opinion now, how this country should run? Yes, okay. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to pick one, and who's the first one? Oh, he'll be happy to hear this. Brian McKay's name scrolled up. Mackey. Brian, here's what we're going to do. It's a lottery. All of a sudden, Brian's sitting around, and he hears the sound of helicopters. And they land in his front yard. Now, I happen to know. You're right. Brian says the winner will be Rogan for president. I got you. But so imagine you're Brian. You're sitting there. You're having your cup of tea. You hear this. Black Hawk helicopter lands. A couple guys get out all clad in black camo. A couple guys in suits get out, and they come up and they go, Brian, we're with the Secret Service. There was a lottery, and you're now president of the United States. You can call everyone after the fact, but it's our job to get you on this helicopter, get you to the airport, get you on the Air Force One, and you're going to be president for the next 4 years. That person is more qualified to be president than someone that's, quote, qualified to be president. Anyone, let's be honest. You and I were going to a party, and we meet someone that says, I have always wanted to be the most powerful woman or the most powerful man in the world, the most powerful person in the world, the president of the United States. You and I would make an excuse to take a call in another room. You and I would go, oh, I heard they put out some cocktail sauce. My shrimp, they're all naked. I'll be right back. I just need to go over and get some cocktail sauce. Or you'd be going like, oh, wow, did you hear they opened some more champagne? Hold that thought, and then you're looking for the exit. You're looking for the back door. You're looking for anything. You're paging yourself to go, oh, geez, I'm so sorry. I have to take this call I just triggered on my own phone. We wouldn't want to hang with the person that said, oh, I've groomed myself ever since I was little to be the president of the United States. They'd be disqualified. You and I wouldn't hang out with them. We'd be afraid that they'd get our license plate when we left the party. Be honest. Oh, wow, you have to have experience to be this. You know what? Here's what I'm beginning to think. I think the system is such, it'll run itself. Maybe you got a couple little people sign here, do this. Here's how to get around, like a celebrity map of how to get around the White House. But if you think you've been groomed, it's owed to you. How long has Biden been a public servant? How long has any of them been a public servant? Which kills me, the term public servant. Just gives me. But how long has it been since you held a real job? You're not qualified. You don't deserve it unless you get the vote of the people that put you there. But this whole craziness about being qualified for president, I'm more qualified than the people that have been president. You're more qualified than some of the people that we've elected. By the time you've learned, I think it was President Lincoln that said, Candace will help me out here. I think it was President Lincoln that said, by the time you've been elected president of the United States, you've sworn to uphold a half a dozen laws that you had to break just to get here. Right? So all this mashugana about, as Candace says, I think people forget they work for we the people. Somehow it's flip-flop. Absolutely, because they want you to believe it's flip-flop. They're mountain lions. They're going to do what they can. Really, 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 our elected officials can tell everyone else to be locked down, but it's okay for them to go get their hair done? Wink, wink, nod, nod. I'm not going to drop any names, like the mayor of Chicago or the Speaker of the House. That's not me to mention their names. Now, I would never say Lori Lightfoot or Nancy Pelosi, right? They can make laws making sure you and I don't go get our head buffed, our hair cut, whatever it is, but they're above the rules. They don't have to follow it. They can look down their nose at us, and we're supposed to say, oh, these are the public servants. Brian says that would be easy. I would do what the other greats have done, build and trust my administration. I'm with you, Bri. Work on the issues that people tell me and more. I would get a cool bedroom, that is true, with a nice suit. But I would never believe that one man can run a country. I'm with you. Or one woman, Bri, for that matter. All right, sorry for the rant, but that's my thought. We ought to let Joe Rogan do the debate, not have the candidates have the questions in advance. Just straight up. I'll do the debate. Not like they'd ever come on this show, but I do the debate. Here's my invitation. Come on. I'll put it. We'll have a bunch of questions come in. I'll put them on 3x cards. We'll put 3x5 cards. We'll put them in a hat, and I'll read it very studiously. Mr. President, Mr. Former Vice President. Hello. Oh, yes, sir. So I'll read it and go, okay, here's the question. And then have them answer it. And then you and I could get to see them respond in the moment. Truth. No handlers, no earpieces, no teleprompters, no nothing. What do you think? You're going to run this dog and pony show. What do you think? How would you handle it? What would you do? That's when we're going to get a real leader, male or female. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. But we're going to get someone that isn't qualified for the job. Well, you got to know how it works. Nah, I don't think you really do. Because mostly how it works is the bureaucratic behemoth and the legislative leviathan. So you just have to know to be able to go in and go, now I'm gonna clean house from all those guys. Brian, you say you're going to get a nice suit. You also might want to get one of those Carhartt overall suits, because I suspect you're going to be cleaning out a good bit as well. Call me. I'll come and help you do some of the cleaning out. But that's my thought. Qualified for the job. Oh, help me. Deserve the job. He's been a public servant for how many years? Oh, please. All right. Sorry about that. I know we didn't get a chance to get to Mortal Up for this evening, but let me just say this. Don't forget to go over to mortalup.com. Of course, you can get all the different shows. I forgot to bring the koozie downstairs, but I'll do that as well so everyone can see the koozies. I'll do that tomorrow night along with the picture of our latest in terms of the mobile marketing. I haven't thought about this. I might get an airplane to fly a banner around that says Mortal Up. Maybe we'll do that. Who knows? Brian says, no. It's Don and Joe. No suit, shirts, and jeans, and they have to do 5 push-ups to enter the room. Oh, well, guess you'll be in. Think about that. With all the different times Biden says, I'll take him out behind the schoolhouse and beat him up, or this one, I could do this, I could do that. That's a great idea. You know what we ought to do? Just to bring it down a level, instead of push-ups, right? Everyone's a tough guy. Who's the guy, Chris Cuomo from MSNBC? I think that's where. Is he at MSNBC or the Circus News Network? Is he over there with little Jimmy accosted? I forget. But it's a tough guy because he always does the bicep curls, right? What was it?
Circus,
thank you. The Circus News Network. Where's Chris Cuomo at? MSNBC or you're saying he's at Circus? The Circus News Network. So he does bicep curls. I say we do this. We give them hula hoops. And when they come to the front of Joe Rogan's place, we make them do a hula hoop. And the person that can do the hula hoop for 60 seconds, they get to answer the first question. And you have to stay outside until you can keep a hula hoop going for 60 seconds. I think that's the way I want to do it. All right, let me thank everyone for joining us in the thread tonight. Thank everyone that joined us at mortalup.com. Don't forget, you can go over there. We got T-shirts, we got koozies, we got some other cool things. Check it out. You also get a full run of the shows, all the videos, everything that Wayne does, and, of course, tomorrow night's poll as well. And I believe that is America on the Ropes. So head on over to mortalup.com and we'll get you set up there as well. Thank you all so very much. Thank you for your patience as we figured out the audio. Hey, Don, need help getting that hoop on, I'm with you. So thank you so very much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. in the West. Wayne, what do you say? We'll go ahead and get out of here. Thank you all so very much. Have an absolutely fantastic evening.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.